Welcome back to Rex Rock TV. I'm your host, TJ Servant. I'm here with
Richard Lynch from Saint.
Right on, man. Thanks for coming out.
No problem.
Appreciate it. We had to do a change of locations. We planned on going into Guitar Center, but there's been a change of management there, and they put the kibosh on it. So we moved into just some mall around close by here on the Las Vegas Strip. What brings you out here?
Well, my wife and I are celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary. We got married here in Las Vegas and beat the odds so far. So that's why we're here.
Cool. When did you come to know the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior?
I became a Christian when I was 20 years old. It was a few years back.
Moving on. When did you form Saint? What year and why?
Well, I started out with a group of guys. John Mahan was the guitar player, Russ Cook was the bass player, and Bob Page and Jim Maxwell. These guys, they had a band called Power Faith, and from there they kind of went their different ways, and John Mahan and I collaborated on writing a few songs, put together a band called the Gentiles, and then we kind of went our separate ways for a while. And when that happened, Gene McClendon and I, the drummer that was playing in the Gentiles by then, we formed the band Saint. And then we put out, we were working actually on Warriors of the Sun when John Mahan, he got wind of the album, and he wanted to come back and do the performance, and that's where it pretty much began.
What year was that again?
That was in 1983 we started.
Okay, so basically you've come upon your 30 years of 30-year mark of.
Yeah, I've lost track.
Do you even remember how many people have been in Saint since?
Well, you know, I can tell you there have been officially 4 guitar players, 1 bass player, me. Now we've had Josh has moved down to California, and Brian Miller came in, and now he's doing vocals. And I can't tell you how many drummers are like hard to keep. They just blow up, come and go. I probably had like 6 drummers in 1 year.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What was the first song you wrote in an album?
You know, I was trying to think what the first songs would have been. Maybe "Worrying World," which would have been a Gentile song, but that never made it on an album. I don't think. Maybe it became another song, like "Destroyers of the World" on Times In. Was actually called Baby Destroyer, and we never ever, I don't think we really ever put that out. I think we did do that, and it was on like the Basement tape, little thing that we put out. But it was a bit too crude. It was about abortion. But I think, you know, interestingly enough, The Path, that's it. That was written back in like 1980. Okay. And that came out on Lake Philip.
Oh, a great album.
3 albums in.
Yeah, that's a great album. That's actually one of my favorite Saint albums. How many albums, if you know exactly, which I'm sure you might, how many albums has Saint produced since you started?
Well, actual albums that we produced so far are 9. Right now, though, we're working on a 10th album called "Broad as the Gate." This is the demo album here. Oops. And I personally broke this case before you came and picked me up. And this is like,
that's custom.
Yes, it is. And this is for you and only you. You can't play it for anybody. You can't share it with anybody.
All the fans out there are going to be like, why, man, why?
Well, because the new album's going to come
Yeah.
out, and this is pretty much at the demo quality here, you know. But I thought that you might want to listen to it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Speaking of this demo right here, would you mind if I I played a little bit about it in the background when I go in to edit this interview?
Just a teaching, just to give them just a little bit, man. Just a teaser.
Yeah, be sure to check that out too when they release that album. What are some of your memorable moments playing gigs with some of the bands that I've played? I don't know how many you've actually played with, but I'm sure you know some of the people in some of the bands. Is there any stories that you might want to share? Or...
You know, playing live is kind of a whirlwind. You get to a place, sometimes you meet the other guys, but everybody's so busy doing their own thing and getting prepared to do their own show that there's not a lot of time. And you're in and out of the city. So I've been in a lot of cities in the United States playing. Actually, I was a stage engineer before I started doing the Saint. And I toured with Leon Pateo and some of the other earlier artists, you know. But going through Nashville, I've been in Nashville. I can't tell you a thing about it because it was in and out, you know. I mean, so that's kind of what it's like. I worked. We played a show way long ago with Stryper at the Benson, and Robert came in. He was very friendly, but you know, again, we were all getting ready, setting up, going on about our business. Res Band, they were fantastic to work with. We probably played with those guys the most out of it.
Yeah, great. I met with Glenn and Wendy at Cornerstone, the final Cornerstone 2012.
Nicest people ever.
It was the greatest experience, one of the greatest experiences for me. Just being a fan of the music, and then since the ministry's fairly young, Righteous Rock TV, to meet pioneers like that have been doing it since way before I was born.
Right.
They've been doing Christian rock, so which was actually back then was more metal, you know, because they were a harder edge.
Oh, I think
than
you know, there's a lot of debate on who was the first metal band. And I think that those guys were it.
Resurrection Band. Well, you heard it here first. Again.
That's what I think. I mean, that Colors album was, that wasn't the first one, obviously, but that of all their albums, that was my favorite, and I think that it was their heaviest.
Yeah, I was listening to a couple of songs last night being played, and it's just amazing the body of work, and I just hope that they continue. You know, it's an encouragement to a fan like myself, as well as Saint is, you know, as well as Bloodgood, and all the other bands, Tourniquet, all the other bands that have come out now with new albums after, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And just said, hey, you know, the kids are grown. You know, that kind of like segues me into the next question. Tell me a little bit about your family and what you've been doing these past few years. And have you ever took a break from Saint?
Well, I did take a break, you know, after Too Late for Living, you know, pretty much all the way to 2004 when we put out In the Battle, you know, and I was just kind of sorting out life at that point in time. Wasn't really inspired to write, but since 2004 now, we've been putting out an album pretty much every 2 years.
And what's it like having a family and a 9 to 5, and then also being responsible for, you know, the production of?
Pretty stressful. You know, this is it's kind of, God opens the doors, and He opened the door for me. I walked through it. It's been a lot of fun. I'll continue to do it, you know, as long as the doors keep open.
For sure, yeah, we're thankful for that. And let's see, we kind of touched base on that earlier, but let's talk a little bit more about this current project that you are working on with Saint. Can you tell the fans a little bit about what kind of vibe they're going to get? Is it going to be a Too Late for Living, measured with In the Battle, or is it going to be something absolutely new?
Well, there's a couple songs on there. Jared wrote the song We Will Fight. It's a little different than maybe the standard Saint format. And then he has another one yet to be named. As you're going to find out, there are no vocals on that one song. but I think for the most part, what you're going to get is a Saint album with a fantastic lead vocalist. The guitar work by Matt Smith, he just joined up with us. That guy is just incredible. So is Jerry Johnson, obviously, is an incredible player. Yeah, so I'm thinking this will be one of our best albums ever.
Very cool. Very cool. That's exciting. Great news. Great news. Great news. All praise to the Lord. That's fabulous. How can fans of Saint get in touch with you?
SaintSite.com.
SaintSite.com, and I'll put that up on the bottom of the screen so you guys can get that information. As well as you can also get 9 of the Saint titles. I guess, is that all your? Do I carry all? Does the Righteous Rock carry all your titles?
I believe that you do.
Okay, so there you go. You can get any Saint title, and hopefully the new one when it's pressed.
Sure.
I would pray. But yeah, you go to RighteousRockTV.com. In the Righteous Rock store, you'll see them all there. Real user-friendly menu. I'll put that up on the screen as well, that information. Anything else you want to share with the Saint fans out there watching?
Well, I'd like everybody to keep Saint in prayer and just basically keep your focus on Jesus. There's not much more to say.